Alright, let's cut to the chase. What the heck is going on with these two guys getting burned alive by fire that comes from God's presence? That's a question that we've probably all got when we've read this passage. What's going on? First of all, the tabernacle is like a nuclear reactor. So whenever you come near it, you've got to be really careful that you've got all the protective stuff on, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. And God has literally spent ages telling them how to approach his presence, what to do when you're near him. That's all the stuff that we've been reading chapter after chapter of about offerings and, furniture and clothes and all this stuff. And what these two guys are doing here is they're deliberately ignoring everything that he's just said. It's like you read the instruction manual for how to approach a nuclear reactor and then you just go ahead and do it however you want anyway. So it says, bring this sort of clothing in because this protects you from radiation, and you just decide, hey, I'm just going to go in with my jacket on and see what happens. They're bringing a fire that seems to us like a small thing, a fire that shouldn't belong there. It actually was a very big deal for God, which is why he'd spent all this time telling them to not do that and to do something different. So that's the first thing that they're doing. The second thing is they shouldn't be bringing any fire at all. That was the job of the high priest. These guys are getting slightly above their status in even bringing this fire to God. And that tells us something. One of the things it says to me is that they're actually not approaching God because they want to bring an offering to him, an offering of worship, but they're doing it because it makes them look good. And so it's more about them than it is about him. And in this deliberate act of disobedience, it's a bit like, I read somewhere one person compares it to, it's about communion, where you break the bread and you say, this is the body of Jesus, and you take the cup and you say, this is the blood of Jesus. That's a very sacred moment in a way, and it would be like if you were to do that and then start talking about the occult and sort of bringing in all these practices of witchcraft over a moment like that. We would feel probably instinctively there's something that's been really not right, brought into a moment that's meant to be very sacred. That's what these guys are doing. They're doing something they shouldn't be doing in an incredibly holy place, the place that God lives. So God reacts to their unrighteous fire with his holy fire that then consumes them. And you see there, when it happens, it says Aaron remained silent. Another way of translating that is Aaron is just dumbstruck. He's shocked. And everybody's shocked, and we're shocked as we read that. But then God stays. Before that, I will be proved holy. In other words, you have to approach me like I am holy. And for us as believers and followers of the incredible God that we know and we love, we can always come into his presence with confidence. It says that in Hebrews, let us then approach the throne of grace with confidence, because Jesus is our righteousness. But that doesn't mean we get casual about it. We can be confident but not casual when we approach a holy God. For me, one of the things this reminds me of is these guys, they were in leadership, they were priests. And for all those of us who want to be in some way influencers for God and for his kingdom, recognize that that comes with a real responsibility. It's never good to become casual about God and his holiness. And another way of saying that is it's never good to become casual about our own sin and our own selfishness. Let's take that stuff seriously, because if there's one thing that's clear from this passage, it's that God takes it seriously.